Ngcobo. Ngiyakuzwela ngibonile ukuthi hayi. Thank you very much, HOD Mapolova, for introducing me. Siyabonga kakhulu. Program Director, DDG, Advocate Masuku, Head of Department, Ngcobo, DDGs, Head of Ministry, Baba Masenti, Senior Management, and the officials of the Department of Education in KwaZulu-Natal, our guest speakers, leaders of organized labor, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I would like to start by extending my appreciation to all of you for availing your good selves to be part of this critical strategic planning workshop. The resolutions from this workshop will help strengthen the department's effort to provide quality teaching and learning across our great province of KwaZulu-Natal. Program Director Advocate Masuku, education remains an apex priority of our ANC-led government because it is one of the greatest tools that we have to eradicate the inequality and poverty currently gripping our society. This calls for us to consistently reaffirm our commitment and invest the resources towards ensuring equity in our education system, something we all know was denied to our people by the apartheid regime. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, this task might be daunting at times, but there is no doubt in my mind that all of you are more than capable to see it through. As I stand here, I'm reminded of the words of Utata Nelson Mandela, who once remarked, I quote, "What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead," unquote. The historic milestone of an 83% metric pass rate that was achieved by the metric class of 2022 is evident of the sterling work of each and every employee of KwaZulu-Natal Department of Education. My experience as an MEC has showed that in as much as everything is happening at the level of the class, but each and everyone who is involved in education contributed towards that percent. 2 days ago, we went to one of the schools in Harugwala, Schofield, yes. You remember that in the media there's been one a clip where one of our young educators told South Africans that as the government of the day, we have failed the learners of that school. It was not nice thing to listen to, but we had to listen to her. The people who went there and solved the challenges that were there were people who are here today. Were people who are not in class. Why am I saying that, or why am I telling that story? It's because I want us to move from the notion which is saying all the credit must go direct to teachers, as if there is no one behind them. Leadership is also critical. Angifuni ukusho ukuthi kwenzakalani masifika khona, ngoba you are all going to be disappointed. Bese nibuza ukuthi sasesenzani okudabalelwa ngelinye usuku lolo. I'm telling the story because I want you to know that seated here, you have a role to play and you have played it, hence 83%. Your dedication and commitment to serving our learners and educators, in spite of numerous challenges, is truly commendable. On behalf of the people of KwaZulu-Natal, I thank you. Program Director, the theme for this workshop, exploring the risk-adjusted approach to strategic planning, was formulated with the aim of reviewing the current trajectory of the department so that we can ensure that our policies, plans, and interventions are aligned with the needs of our learners and educators. It is part of human nature to try by all means to avoid the risk in whatever we do in life. However, the reality is that we cannot ignore the risks that come with our respective duties. If we do that, we will be shooting ourselves on the foot because those same risks will come back to haunt us later. Therefore, our planning must also be informed by the risk that all our policies and interventions potentially attract so that we are better prepared for them. Consequently, this workshop has been convened so that we have collectively looked into innovative ways to mitigate those risks. Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, the department is facing a number of pressures ranging from the demand for more educators to the crumbling infrastructure, provision of learner transport as well as curriculum development and delivery. Many of our schools also do not accommodate the diverse sports codes, and we must therefore come with plans on how we can address that so that all our learners can get an opportunity to showcase their talents on the fields and even outside our curriculum, our learning areas. Many of our schools also do not accommodate the diverse sports. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself now. As the Department of Education, we also need to look into building more schools which provide boarding facilities and proper transportation for learners with special educational needs. These schools must also be capacitated with critical staff. Last year, we also saw a shift of the Early Childhood Development, ECD, function from the Department of Social Development to the Department of Basic Education, which requires extensive teacher development in order to get this right and do justice to the education of our young learners. And we also need to do justice in our learning center, in their centers. It is true that the department is working tirelessly to address the challenge of overcrowding in our schools, but there is still a lot that needs to be done in order to completely resolve this problem. This department advocate, who's the chair, also has a mandate to effectively respond to the country's socio-economic needs. This requires us to consistently strengthen our curriculum as well as increased access to vocational and technical education by rolling out the relevant subjects to more schools. The plan is also to establish at least one focus schools or academy of excellence in all our districts. We wish in all our districts we can also have at least one of those focus schools. If you are telling a story about Anton Lembede and Mandla Mthethwa, I'm sure to all those who are leading our districts has that wish of having one even in their districts. That is what we will strive on as for education in KwaZulu-Natal. All these programs and many others I did not mention require substantial funding. And unfortunately, they are very limited. But this is what we would like to see as a department. The question on the HOD's and CFO's mind must be, where is the money going to come from? Ulali no HOD must assist us to this effect. We are all aware of the fiscal constraints faced by the department resulting from relentless budget cuts. However, having limited resources to carry out our duties that does not absolve us of our constitutional responsibility to provide quality teaching and learning. This means we have to find innovative ways to maximize every cent or risk reversing the gains already made by the ANC-led government since 1994 in its effort to eradicate a glaringly unequal education system. The resolutions from this workshop will therefore provide a critical guide on how we can effectively carry out our mandate of provision of quality education and a conducive environment for teaching and learning to take place. The reality is that we can't always look outside to ease the burden of the challenges we face. That calls for us to think out of the box and find our own solutions. And fortunately, the people who must do that, it's all of us in this room. And I know that we are capable. By the end of tomorrow, something will come up. For this to happen, we must firstly get rid of our biggest threat, which has the potential to cripple this department. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the silo mentality. We must capitalize in our collective strength, but that can only happen if we have more synergy between the various branches. Working in silos is detrimental to the development of the department. It has the potential to severely compromise service delivery and waste much needed resources as a result of one hand not knowing what the other hand is doing. In the words of Mother of Black Freedom, Umama Charlotte Maqele, I wish to remind you that, as I'm quoting her, this work is not ourselves. Kill that spirit of self and do not live above your people. If you can rise, bring some with you. Circulate your work and distribute as much information as possible, unquote. As managers, you are each responsible for supervising a group of staff. In order to ensure that they are effective and efficient at all times, you must play your oversight role. And this is not optional. let's make sure that we do play our oversight role. It's critical. Our oversight role must be intensified to ensure that we fully grasp all the challenges faced by our educators and learners in school. If you don't play oversight role, the media of the public will play it for you, or rather will play it for us. As a result, the reputation of the department could end up being tarnished in the media because someone failed to do what they were supposed to do. Ayikho into ebuhlungu njengokuthi ufunde into kwi-media kube kunabahloli, kube kunabahloli babahloli, kube kunabaphethe, kodwa usiyofunda indaba uyifunda kwi-media ey'ndabeni zika-7. And the unfortunate part is the minute you receive that call, that you see that on TV, definitely expect calls from the journalist minutes after that. So I'm appealing to your good selves. Senior managers, I'm sure you concur with me that the cost of delays in filling posts is too high in our education system and a grave injustice. Once a funded post is declared vacant, it must be advertised and be filled timelessly. If, for example, you leave a school without a departmental head and then for a lengthy period, you are not only compromising the management of that school, but it means other educators have to take an additional load, or that school risks leaving some of the learners without an educator. And that one is not fair, even to them. Another issue that is of great concern to me is the trend of appointing people to positions that do not exist on the organogram. Colleagues, I wish we can refrain from doing that. This is constitutionally flawed and highly exploitative. The victims are given false hope that they will fully be appointed when the positions become available, and unfortunately that is illegal. Of course, most of the issues I've just highlighted and many others can be swiftly addressed by adhering to the ethical standards and policies that the department already has in place. And I know for a fact that it's not all of us who are doing that, and it's not all the regions who are doing that. But let's address it. In whatever corner where this is happening, let's stop doing it. In this regard, we must also capacitate our respective teams as well as our stakeholders, such as the school governing bodies, formations, with the relevant policies before cases of non-compliance surfaces. Angifuni ukukhuluma kakhulu ngoba sinana basivakashele. Kuningi kodwa okwenzakalayo. Ubone nje ukuthi awudaba. I mean, umuntu ku-level hloko kufanele ngabe uyabona ukuthi le nto iyasilimaza. Yabona? Ingakho ngikhulumela phansi indaba yasekhaya. Into nje maniphoqe uma usuyibona but manje usenzani manje uphongele. Accountability across all levels is something that we cannot afford to compromise, or we risk finding ourselves with a highly unstable system. We must therefore jealously guard the integrity of the department and maintain high standards of professionalism at all times. Ladies and gentlemen, school safety is one of the issues that keep me awake at night. Almost every single day we receive reports of criminal activities such as violent attacks on educators and learners, as well as theft and vandalism of our school infrastructure. We cannot expect academic excellence in schools where our learners and educators are living in fear because they are constantly terrorized by criminals. Unfortunately enough, we are raising these issues with SAPS. But we expect our educators also to report such incidents. There's nothing embarrassing like seeing the news at 7, boom. Something big happened in one of the schools, and even the inspector responsible is not aware. I wish we can go down and make sure that we advise that communication is critical. My appeal is for this workshop to also consider how we can strengthen the quality learning and teaching campaign and ignite a sense of patriotism where every person in KwaZulu-Natal starts viewing both education and the safety of our school as a societal issue. When we build new schools and renovate the old infrastructure, it is important to ensure that local communities benefit also on these developmental projects. Singaboni kufika othize omusha, of course kufanele ukuthi afike, kodwa i-community is not even part of what is happening. Abazali balezingane zama-clients wethu, ngiyazicelela ukuthi cha, umphakathi, let's involve them, because we also rely on them ukuthi whatever that we are doing there ihlalise esimeni esidingayo. When we build new schools and renovate the old infrastructure, it is important to ensure that local communities benefit also on these developmental projects. Program Director, before I conclude, I wish to thank our guests who will be here, who will be speaking here, empowering us as a department, and also thank the representatives of organized labor who are joining us today. Their invaluable contributions to the commissions and resolutions of this workshop are critical for the betterment of our education system. Our collective struggle for educational equity is one that neither of us must give up on. I now leave you with the words of the late US Senator Margaret Chase Smith, who once remarked, I quote, "Public service must be more than doing a job efficiently and honestly. It must be a complete dedication to the people and to the nation," unquote. I wish you fruitful deliberations in your commissions. May this workshop provide us with the roadmap this department needs to truly become the hub of innovative hub for quality of teaching and learning. Ngiyabonga kakhulu, all the best.